to another episode of Tuesday Night Live. I'm your host, Osbel. How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Good. All right, so I'm here to tell you about the Gettysburg Address and why it's so similar to Pericles' funeral oration. I'm kidding. I'm actually here to be your own personal entertainment, and I hope that gratifies you.
Wait. What about me?
Girl, what about you?
I want to be on this show too.
You sure? Just know the camera adds 10 pounds.
Oh, well, I'm sorry for eating too many tamales this holiday season.
Well, it seems like you are on 2 cameras already. What do you want?
So, I have a quick question to ask you.
Yes?
Have you ever wondered what motivates you to tune into your favorite TV show each week?
I've never thought of that. I just turn it on.
Oh, well, let me ask you this. What is your favorite TV show?
Ooh, right now it's Breaking Bad. Love the crystal.
Oh. Okay. Or, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why you spend too much time going to social media?
Oh, Lord, no. I don't think that much.
Or what causes you to watch the media that you consume ever since you discovered it?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, today we're actually going to be talking to you all about why we use the media that we use and how it gratifies our needs. So stick around, we'll be right back, and this is Tuesday Night Live! Welcome back to Tuesday Night Live!
Enough with thing 1 and thing 2. Time to get into the nitty-gritty. Today, we're going to be talking about use and gratification theory.
This theory came about in the middle of the 20th century by Elihu Katz, and it is defined from the social and psychological origin of needs, which generate expectations of the mass media or other sources, which lead to differential patterns of media exposure or engagement in other activities, which may result in need gratifications and other consequences, perhaps mostly unintended ones.
Okay, that was a lot to unravel there. To keep it short and concise for you tired, stressed, and overwhelmed college students watching this right now, the use and gratification theory is the study of the needs that motivate us to consume media, or what causes us to believe a certain media will meet our needs and what happens when these needs are met. And what happens when those needs are met?
Thank you. And what happens when those uses are met? So, uses and gratification theory is focused on the active choices made by the audience and seeks to understand why and how these choices are made.
Are we still filming?
Yeah.
Well, now it's my turn. I want a single shot. Gratification in this theory can be defined as the fulfillment of the social or psychological need through the interaction with media. Identifying and understanding these needs is a key area of uses and gratification theory.
There are 3 major categories. Cognitive needs, which are related to knowledge, which include the information seeking, surveillance, and reality exploration needs.
Diversion needs, which relate to the desire for escape from everyday thought and include the need to be stimulated, the need for excitement, and the need to escape boredom.
And finally, personal identity needs related to a person's sense of self. This category includes the need to see ourselves in others, the need to have our ideas and opinions validated, and the need to experience social situations.
This is so perfect. I think we're gonna get an Oscar, Daytime Emmy?
I think we are. This is amazing. Throughout our documentary today, we will elaborate more as to the media that the YouTubers students consume, why they consume a specific media, and the specific genres of media they consume.
Additionally, you will hear from our expert sources that will go more into depth, more than we could, as to why certain individuals consume their favorite media and how it gratifies their needs.
Osbel, are you blind? Get off the screen! Roll the clips!
My name is Dora E. Saavedra. I am an associate professor of communication studies in the Department of Communication.
My name is Karen Valenzuela.
My name is Suyun Kim. I'm assistant professor at the Department of Communication.
I have noticed that people have recognized me because of this.
Well, uses and gratification theory is one of the favorite theories that our students study. They are intrigued by why people use media, why they themselves use media, and why they use it. So I teach it in the theory class, undergraduate theory class and the graduate theory class.
I know Uses and Grad says people have their own individual specific needs, like social interactions or companionship, like escape. I think there are like 5 different or 6 types of needs. I think by scholars they have a little different criteria, but that leads them to choose a certain media so that they can fulfill those needs that they want.
It's generational. So older people like me use Facebook, whereas younger people are using Instagram, Snapchat, what used to be called Twitter, now called X. They use more rapidly evolving social media, and they use it to be in the know. Many of them use social media to kind of catch up on the gossip for celebrities, for entertainment, whereas the older generation, we use it to keep up with our family, our friends, people that we know that are all over the United States. So I do think there's a generational difference. There's also a gender difference, and an age difference in terms of the younger teenage individuals use it a lot in terms of social comparison.
A lot of them, they want the likes and they want to feel some form of validation. A lot of people probably have insecurities and they feel like getting the likes based on the posts that they either heavily edited or they're just trying to show that they're living a great life when they're probably not. People want the likes because it gives them validation.
Like TikTok and Instagram are more popular among younger generations. And this is just my speculation, but maybe the reasons why our students, UTRGV students, use Instagram versus other types of platform is because maybe that's where they have vast majority of their friends already joining. So they do not want to get isolated, or they still want to get connected with their friends. I think I use Twitter a lot, and I think that's maybe like 2 different types of reasons. I think lots of academic researchers or faculties, or I know some journalists also have their own Twitter account, and that's kind of especially I think for journalists, it's a great way to let the publics know or let the audience know what is the latest news that they have wrote. And I know for people in the academia, lots of them use Twitter to promote or let other people know that, they have done this research and it's published. So please check it out, and there's always a link. Or they would also invite other people who are doing a research with them, because many academics are using Twitter. I think especially like communication researchers, they tend to also use it so they can be in that inner circle. So I use that for academic purposes. I also have a Twitter account because Twitter is just a really interesting place. So for the research purpose, I try to look at how they flag some misinformations. I'm really interested in their policies on how they handle like the hate speech or misinformations or false information. So I think because of my academic position and my academic research interest, I think that's why I like to look at what's going on Twitter.
One of the things about Uses and Grads is that it's very hard in terms of the criteria for a good theory. It's hard to predict and hard to explain. So those are 2 of the 6 criteria for a good theory. Does it have heuristic value? Does it predict? Does it explain? Is it testable or falsifiability, etc.? And so it's not quite where it needs to be because it's too amorphous. It doesn't have kind of as rigid a way to test it. The theory needs to develop more in those areas before we can have definitive answers. But we do have some data that the way you use it can impact the way you see yourself through social comparison. It can affect your self-esteem. It can help you sometimes create an image of yourself that is not necessarily realistic.
I worked in a cognitive psychology lab, and it was to the point where we had compared a picture that was heavily edited, heavily photoshopped, compared next to the original photo. And overall, what we saw, the results were that a lot of people preferred the edited Photoshop picture, and a majority was males that chose the Photoshop image. But we can see from here that people will heavily put this false perception of themselves online in order to feel validation and feel like they're liked by random people. As long as they can feel popular or get this ego boost, they're going to use social media, and it's going to instantly gratify them.
I don't think it's greatly impacted me personally, but I do take into consideration some of the stuff that I've learned about social media with my personal account, with my personal Instagram. Like, I know what stuff maybe will get less likes than I usually do, and then I know what would get more likes than usual.
Because they are what are salient. If you understand agenda setting theory, well, what's salient is what pops up for you. And just like my generation had the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Animals and those kind of media figures, this generation has its own pop stars, Beyonce, and those individuals that people want to follow. And there's just like in the TV or movies, there are parasocial relationships. There are also parasocial relationships. Parasocial means like you think they're your friend. They speak for you. And so Taylor Swift may talk about all her heartbreak and relationships, and Adele, breaks your heart too. And so it just depends. The younger folks, I believe, are still trying to define who they are. And they're still trying to make sense of of the world. And so they relate to these individuals and these media platforms that speak to them, that resonate with them.
In order to be in that inner circle of the fandom, if this fandom is, using WhatsApp a lot, maybe that's where you should go and look for information, exchange information, and get to know more about people who are like you, which is the fandom. So I think that's the reason why.
Whenever we scroll through social media, we want to see something that will make us laugh or make us learn something. It's kind of like we kind of enter this other world, and we don't want to constantly get stressed when we look at whoever we're following, their content.
Facebook is my primary online medium, although I like YouTube and America's Got Talent and all of those shows.
Sometimes it's just I can put it on and I can do the dishes, or I can, cook. And I like to look up for recipes on YouTube, and it's sometimes easier to look at that than just Google it and look it in a text. So I like to kind of look at it and see how they actually make it. Like some Korean dishes, I don't know the recipe. My grandma or my mom would say just like a little bit. I don't know how little that is, but YouTube tells you exactly like how much to put, like not just a little bit or good amount. So I like to use YouTube for that purpose, yeah.
I use it mostly to relax and inspire me. I love stories, especially on somebody who's got talent, somebody who's rags to riches, or who has overcome a lot of obstacles. So for me, I use it for inspiration, entertainment, and relaxation.
Thank you so much.
Is it recording?
And those were our fascinating experts. Weren't their points really strong, guys?
I think the interviews were very strong.
I think now I have a strong understanding of what uses and gratification theory is. So, we hope now you understand what uses and gratification theory is, and we hope now you'll be more consciously aware of how much time you spend on social media and what type of content you decide to rot your mind to.
Let's end the semester strong.
Perfect.